Hi, I'm Tracy, VE3TWM. Thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. A while back, a viewer left a comment on one of my videos asking me to show what I bring along when I do a POTA activation or operate portable, and that's what the intent of this video is. So let's get into it. I'm out here today not for camping purposes, so I don't have any camping gear. This is just come in for a few hours and get out. And my mission statement for today's video is to test the Diamond HF-V5 antenna. You can see it in the green sleeve there. In addition to that, I have got the support that I'll be using, and that is 4 stacking military masts. They're 4 feet each, and if I put the antenna up on top, that'll raise it to about the 16-foot level. Over the past couple of years, I've started using these plastic ammo cans to bring my gear in. And I like them because they offer some protection to what's inside. They're fairly sturdy. They are made of plastic, but they're fairly sturdy. They've got a nice secure handle on it. Snaps closed very securely, and it's even got a gasket on the inside to help protect against water ingress. I brought a couple of those along. We'll get to what's in the second one in just a moment. But what was in this one is what you see splayed out on the table here. Let's just take a look from the top. The Diamond HF-V5, which I'm profiling in a video that I'll post on the channel at another time, it has this feed point. Now this feed point that I'm showing you here is fully assembled. It doesn't fully assembled, it does not fit back into the original packaging. So I have to keep it out or disassemble it, and I don't want to disassemble it. So that's the first thing that goes into this ammo can. The next thing I'm going to show you is coaxial cable. Of course, I've got a second length of coaxial cable. This is the line isolator. I won't be needing it with this antenna because this antenna is effectively a dipole. It's not something like an end fed or a G5RV or off-center fed antenna. So I'll probably pull that out if I need it. But the idea here is that once you have the antenna up, you never really know how much distance is required to get you from the antenna to the rig's location. So it's better to have more than not enough. Recently, I added an antenna analyzer to my gear kit. Now, I operated very successfully for many years without one of these. However, it's a really nice addition, so I tend to pack it along these days. Actually, on the antenna I'll be testing today, it's going to be a really important thing to have. Sunscreen, a couple of Cliff Bars, if I get a little peckish while I'm out here. I've got a 100-foot length of paracord that I'll be cutting up. I have on my belt a Leatherman that I'll use to cut the paracord to length, and tent pegs. Now these are good quality tent pegs. They're aluminum. They're sturdy. They're strong. They don't bend when you're putting them into tough soil. So that takes care of the first ammo can, which really is focused on antenna. Let's take a look at the second can. I'll show you this before I open up the ammo can / plastic container. These particular containers have a space on the top for a label. I just used a Sharpie to mark what's inside there. In this case, I've got a B-30, and what that indicates to me when I'm looking through my ammo cans in the basement getting ready to go out is that I've got a battery in there, and that happens to be a 30 amp hour lithium ion phosphate. Inside, I've got a bag just to provide a little bit of extra protection, although I don't think it's really necessary. But it does, however, keep the battery from sliding around. Being a lithium ion phosphate, it's not very bulky, it's not very heavy, so it fits in nicely in there. Notice that this particular battery has screw terminals on the top. As a result of that, I've used a ring connector and fashioned a power cable for it. So, and I just leave that in place so I'm never messing around with screws in the field, screwing and unscrewing. I've got a plastic bag in here. Now this contains the charger. It also contains an amp meter and a voltmeter. So that's all in here. You can just get plugged right in line when I set up. But I like to have the charger, even though obviously I'm in the field, I'm not going to be charging it while I'm using it. By having it all in one box, I never have to, I'm never going to lose it. I'm keeping it right with the battery. I never have to worry about where that charger is. The last thing that's in here is this device right here, which is a power pole bank. So I plug the battery, the power pole cable from the battery into this, and now I've got multiple ports to plug in multiple items, radio, tuner, anything else that I might have which is 12 volts can be plugged right into there. Very handy. Next up, this is my rig. Now you'll notice it's a big box. It's a big protective box. When you're bringing your rig, you don't need such a big box, but I had the space in the car today, so I've packed my rig in it. And by the way, my rig tends to stay in these when they're not in use at home. So again, I always know where they are, unless I'm using it in the base station, of course. Okay, so in here, I've got my SGC 2020. Just give me one sec here. My SGC 2020. Here it is right here. And I've got the matching Mac 200 tuner for it. Now, what I've done is underneath each of these sections of the pick and pluck foam, I've got the necessary accessories for each of them. So there's the hand mic for the SG 2020 and its accompanying power cord. By the way, if you're using a case like this, really good idea to put some silica gel packets in there so that moisture doesn't attack your precious gear while it's sealed in a very tight case. So I mentioned earlier the Mac 200 tuner. Under there, I actually have brought, so I'm going to need a couple things to get the tuner going. I need power, so there's my power pole connector for the tuner, and I've got the PL259 to PL259 jumper cable to plug into the back of the rig. Of course, the antenna will go into the tuner. I don't anticipate that I'm going to require the tuner today. Actually, I don't know. I'm going to have to find out with that particular antenna. But the idea here, of course, is that I've got everything for the radios all together, neat, tidy. I know where everything is. When I'm done here today, I take the box home, I put it on the shelf, and it's ready to go for next time. Last but not least, you're going to want to log your contacts. I'm using an iPad with hammers installed on it. Something else that I've learned to bring along. Always good to have a backup. And I bring along a USB power bank. This is designed to recharge cell phones. Well, of course, it will work just fine and give a few hours of additional life to the built-in battery on the iPad. And that's it. Organize once, and then be diligent from that point forward, that all your gear is together. So I've got your rig, you've got your power cords, you've got your microphone, you've got your tuner, you got the patch cables, you got your battery, you got your multiple connection point if you need that. And by the way, don't forget to bring a backup battery. We all know that, right? Having thought it through and having the stuff accessible in easy to grab packages will often make the difference between your getting out there or saying, I can't be bothered putting all the stuff together. Food for thought. Thanks for watching. Always appreciate people asking questions. So if you have any questions for me and you want to know how I do something or my thoughts on something, hey, leave a comment below. Love to hear it. And by the way, this is what I bring along. What did you notice that I do not bring along that you think is really important to bring along? And by the way, I do have something to drink here. I just didn't show you that. And of course, I've got my camera gear. Tell me about your go kits. What are you packing along? How are you packing it? What kind of case? All the rest of it. I'd really like to hear about it. Hey, we're a community. Everybody watching this video, I hope you're going to go down and read some of the comments that people are leaving. As always, I appreciate all the support that you all give me on my channel. Now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. 7-3 from Tracy, VE3 TWM.